What's up, Saiyans and Superhumans? So, you think you know how strong Goku really is? And before you click off this video, this isn't another, actually, Goku is the strongest ever video. I'm not doing that. This is something different, so just bear with me. Being one of the most iconic superpowered characters in anime, Goku is frequently pitted in hypothetical battles against other strong fighters from all kinds of shows, movies, games, comics, and more. And one thing that always comes up is the question of the maximum limit of Goku's strength, and the infamous claim from the pre-Buu saga that Goku can only lift 40 tons in base form. Now, most people consider this a settled question. The anime and manga both outright state it, and Akira Toriyama himself has confirmed it. But I'm here to tell you that this 40 tons figure is more wrong than Frieza's estimate for how long it'd take Namek to explode. Let's power up to our final form, mathematical analysis. And as always, spoilers ahead for the Dragonball franchise. So in case your memory is a bit foggy, let's go over the scene in question real quick. Just before the World Martial Arts Tournament arc at the beginning of the Buu saga, Goku is in Otherworld with King Kai training with weights on his wrists and ankles that weigh 2 tons each, and he's moving fast and flying around like it's nothing. Then they increase the weight to 10 tons per limb for a total of 40 tons, and Goku is unable to maintain flight. He has to go Super Saiyan 1 in order to be able to lift the 40 tons. Now, some of you may be saying, wait, the Otherworld Tournament arc isn't canon, it's anime-only filler, which is true, but this scene actually takes place as part of the World Martial Arts Tournament arc, not the Otherworld Tournament arc, and it is in the manga and it is canon. In the anime, it takes place just after the Otherworld Tournament arc, and thus after the non-canon filler portion. So then, if a canon scene claims that Goku's limit is 40 tons, his limit must be 40 tons, right? Wrong. In episode 1, we see Goku carrying a massive tree trunk back to his house for firewood. That tree trunk is basically a cylinder, so we'll treat it as one to keep the math simple. Goku's official canon height is 5 foot 9 inches. Using Goku as a measuring stick, we can see that the tree trunk is just a bit over 1.75 Gokus in diameter, and at least 5 Gokus long. One end of the tree remains off screen, so we don't know how much longer it is than 5.5 Gokus, only that it's at least that long. To give this 40 tons claim the best possible chance, we'll treat the tree as if it ends just off screen, and so it's only exactly 5.5 Gokus long, even though it could be much longer. 1.75 Gokus in diameter and 5.5 Gokus long works out to 10 feet in diameter and 31 feet long, rounded down to the nearest whole foot to give the claim of 40 tons the best chance, and to keep the math nice and simple. A cylinder with a diameter of 10 feet and a length of 31 feet has a volume of 2,434 cubic feet, again, rounded down. Now, we don't know what kind of tree it is, but even if we assume it's the lightest species of tree known to man, balsa trees, that still gives the wood a green weight of roughly 8 pounds per cubic foot on average. Now, it's important to note that you must use green weight for these calculations, not dry weight. If you Google the weights of different woods, most of what's going to come up is the dry weight, which is what the wood weighs after it's been cut to size and dried in a kiln to evaporate all the water. Dry weight is what's applicable to lumber you'd buy from the hardware store, but not to wood that's just been cut. Green weight is what the wood weighs when it's just been freshly cut down and still has all of its water content. The tree Goku was carrying had been cut down only a few minutes ago, so we need to make sure we're using green weights to get accurate numbers. Anyway, balsa is the lightest known wood with a green weight of 8 pounds per cubic foot. With a volume of 2,434 cubic feet, that tree trunk would weigh a minimum of 19,472 pounds. And remember, that's if it was the lightest species of wood we know of, and from the look of it, it definitely isn't. From what we can see in the episode, it most closely resembles a redwood, and redwoods have a green weight of 28 pounds per cubic foot. So running our calculations again using the weight of a redwood this time, we find that it weighs 68,152 pounds. If it's a balsa, the weight is 9.736 tons. If it's a redwood, it works out to 34.076 tons. And remember, this is episode 1. Goku has a power level of a few hundred at this point, and he's lifting at least 10 tons with ease. By the time he beats Frieza, his power level is in the hundreds of millions. So if a power level of a few hundred lets you lift 10 tons, then a power level of a few hundred million should let you lift 10 million tons. And by the time we get to the World Martial Arts Tournament arc in the pre-Buu saga, the power levels have gotten so high they just stop keeping track. But this is after Frieza, after the androids, and after Cell, so it's safe to say it would easily be in the billions or even trillions by now. So Goku should logically be able to lift several billion tons with barely any effort in his base form. And yet they expect us to believe he can only lift 40 tons. Yeah, okay, sure thing. And in case that doesn't convince you, here's further proof. Vegeta's canon weight is 123 pounds. While preparing for the androids, Vegeta trains in 400 times Earth's gravity, meaning his body would weigh 400 times more. 123 pounds times 400 equals 49,200 pounds, or 24.6 tons. So if Vegeta can move around in 400 times gravity with his body weighing 24.6 tons, that means he's clearly capable of lifting 24.6 tons, at least. We know Goku is stronger than Vegeta at this point, so if Vegeta can lift 24.6 tons, then we know Goku can lift more than that. If Goku only doubled his strength between the pre-Android arc and the World Martial Arts Tournament arc, 40 tons would be nothing to him. And come on, between the 3 years of training for the androids, getting a Zenkai from surviving the heart virus, 2 years in the time chamber, another Zenkai from fighting Cell, and then 7 years of training in Otherworld, Goku wouldn't have just doubled his strength, he would have doubled it 1,000,000 times over. So yeah, 40 tons would be absolutely nothing to him by the time this scene takes place. There's further proof too, but we'll only go into it briefly here. In one of the first few episodes, Raditz lifts up a pickup truck with one hand, and it's clear that it basically weighs nothing to him. It's effortless. Even a small pickup like that would weigh at least 1.5 tons at minimum. Heck, a regular sedan weighs 1.5 tons, so a pickup is easily going to weigh more. Anyway, even if we assume it's only 1.5 tons, it's clear that Raditz could easily lift something much heavier. Let's say he could lift double that, so 3 tons. Raditz had a power level of 1200, so if a power level of 1200 lets you lift 3 tons, then a power level of 180,000, which Goku had before fighting Captain Ginyu, would let you lift 450 tons. And 180,000 is what Goku had right when he landed on Namek. Then, factor in a Zenkai boost from recovering from the body switch fight with Ginyu, fighting Frieza, training on planet Yardrat, training for 3 years to fight the androids, the Zenkai from the heart virus, 2 more years in the time chamber, a Zenkai from Cell, and then 7 years in Otherworld, and yeah, you see where I'm going with this. Another piece of proof is that way back in Dragon Ball, before Dragon Ball Z, when Goku was just a teenager, he lifts up a giant-sized Piccolo and throws him during the World Martial Arts Tournament. Piccolo's normal weight is 256 pounds, and it's stated he grows to 10 times his normal size. Now, you might think that means he weighs 10 times more, but actually no. There's something called the square-cube law that very basically says that if you increase an object's size by some amount, but keep the same shape, then its surface area increases by the square of that amount, but its volume, and thus its weight, increases by the cube of that amount. What this means is that if Piccolo starts at his canon height of 7'5", yes, Piccolo is huge, and 225 pounds and grows 10 times bigger, his height would be multiplied by 10 and end up at 75 feet. But his weight would be multiplied by 10 cubed, aka 1,000, and end up at 225,000 pounds. That's more than 112 tons. Back in Dragon Ball, before Cell, before the androids, before Frieza, before the Saiyans, way back before he even married Chi-Chi and had Gohan. Even way back then, he's throwing around 112 tons. No matter how you look at it, that 40 tons is Goku's limit thing just can't be true. Toriyama's claim is proved wrong over and over and over again by his own writing. Then again, we are talking about the guy who completely forgot that Super Saiyan 2 existed until someone reminded him about it after he invented Super Saiyan 3, so it's really not that surprising. No joke, that's actually a real thing that happened. When Toriyama first invented Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu Saga, he called it Super Saiyan 2 because he forgot he had already created Super Saiyan 2 in the Cell Saga. So maybe we shouldn't be expecting accurate weight scaling math from a guy who once forgot how to count to 3. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, subscribe and obliterate that notification bell like an alien blowing up a planet so you can be sure to catch my next video. Or if you want more like this right now, check out my video on why the ending of Death Note is mathematically impossible, or why the official Zelda timeline is a fake. This has been So You Think You Know, and now you do know.